Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of We Watched a Movie here with Brandon and myself, Finn, and we just got through watching Sex Drive from 2008, from about 10 years ago. It was probably actually a summer, major summer movie that year, but it was fairly funny. I enjoyed it. What did you think, Brandon?
Okay, alright, let's start with this. This is just a teen sex movie. And so, like, inside of that, it was a teen sex movie. It had moments that were gross and, like, they were extremely immature. I mean, like, as immature as you can possibly hope to be, as you expect from such a film. So, it had a few moments that land, and it had some really funny stuff in it. Like, there's a really weird Amish twist to this plot. It's kind of formulaic. Guy lies on internet, hooks up with hot chick, supposedly somewhere. Friends ensue. Girl best friend who wants main character doesn't want main character comes along, kind of being the wet sock, and then no, because she's, or was that what, towel?
Blanket.
There you go. It doesn't matter because all of that is far less gross than anything you're going to see in this movie. So if that was your cutoff point,
there is kind of almost a wet sock scene in this movie.
This isn't your movie. Yeah,
like the movie opens with that.
No, feel free to describe that scene.
Well, okay, so yeah, so the movie opens with the kid. You know, it's like this kid. He lives in Chicago, which, you know, this movie, I said it, you know, once before, and I do kind of agree. I think this movie is a John Hughes movie, but like pushed through the filter of a mid or late 2000 or late 90s to late 2000s teen sex comedy. Like, that's literally like, it's kind of like if you put those two things into a blender and press, you know, puree, this is what Sex Drive is what you're going to get. And because the kid lives in Chicago, he's, you know, kind of your typical John Hughes style, you know, hero character. And he's a fumbling, you know, goof with women and with girls. And, you know, there's that one particular girl, like you said, the best friend, not best friend character, you know, that he wants but he can't deal with. And then, you know, he's got this girl on the internet that he's talking to. And he decides, that he's going to go and see her.
Right, okay.
But like the movie starts off with him talking to her, and then he ends up having a nocturnal emission while he's dreaming about her at night. And he gets up the next morning and has to, like, you know, get rid of the boxers, and he tries to throw them in the hamper and it misses. And then like his family comes in, and his dad's remarrying, and his new wife is like, oh, you know, it's such a great day. And his older brother's giving him crap, and he's just like, his older brother, who's played by James Marsden, mind you, who is Cyclops and Teddy from Westworld, and like such a great actor. I love that dude. I really do. I love James Marsden, and he just hams it up.
One of the better parts of this movie.
Like, he really is. He really is one of the better parts of the movie as the older brother. But like, yeah, so he's giving him crap and everything, and then, you know, eventually there's the gag of the mom, the new mom, the stepmom, slipping on the you know, soiled boxers, and like, you know, and the brother's like,
you put that so much more tactfully than the movie did.
I did.
He almost makes that sound classy. But any amount of classiness is lost to the viewer in the moment.
It's completely not even there.
All about it. No, later on, he will be trying to figure out condoms and fling one onto her head. He starts humping a punching bag because he goes from angry to horny, and then his mom.
Well, it's like, you know, okay, so like our producer director says, you know, of this movie, comedy comes in threes.
Yes.
And obviously somebody was applying that rule hardcore in this movie, because there's a lot of, let's do this gag in threes in this movie, you know, like that. The stepmom gets the stuff in threes, you know.
Yeah.
And then like there's the joke with Abraham from The Walking Dead, who is in this, like, and he plays this jealous redneck boyfriend who the character's friend, who's a total, like, playboy kind of character. He ends up picking up this country girl, and then her ex-boyfriend shows up and wants to beat the shit out of him, and that's a whole separate subplot B that runs on for a while and comes in threes, and
because this movie really has three main bad guys that come in you in sets of three, and he's right, it sets it up, and this movie knocks it down. At the end, all these crazy encounters that they go through that are filled with sex and the Amish and hillbillies and poop jokes and just so many
external ball jokes.
It all comes back together at the end. So at the end of this movie, they kind of do wrap everything up, and it makes sense because you're clearly this guy, when he's lying on line, it's totally obvious. So you're why would this girl even pick up to it? Right. And the big twist at the end of the movie is the last group that comes into it and ties it all together is that they just wanted to steal his car.
Right. It's a group of car thieves that entice.
They saw the card, his picture of him that he took of his brother's car, which he steals at the beginning of the movie. Thus, the sex drive, the drive he's taking in there in the stolen car. It actually all comes together. They are trying to steal the car. This was all about the car.
Movie, like we were saying, you don't remember any of the characters' names, but you're not supposed to remember any of the characters' names. My favorites of this genre of film, because it is a genre, the road trip teen sex comedy or early 20s sex comedy, it's a genre unto itself, out of the entire teen sex comedy angle. You don't need all
it's just
of
sex minutes. All right, so the thing
tropes.
That this doesn't, that's exactly it. It's tropes, exactly. Right. It's a bunch of things. Ferris Bueller stole the Ferrari, right? That kind of fun.
They steal, right?
So much of this stuff is just taken from other things. Right. Even how, it was painful for me to watch them have their will they, won't they, clearly the end of this movie thing between him and his friend.
Whole Ross and Rachel.
But the whole movie is really kind of derivative, except for I found one group of guys really, really cool, and that's these two extreme dudes, and they meet him in the mall, and they come back another time, and they just say the worst stuff imaginable to women that just come by, and they're just totally confident in themselves, and you ask them why, and they're just oh man, I'm so awesome, it's so cool.
We're great.
And they're these weird skater kids, and the two of them they pull it off somehow, and it has more charisma than it should.
Right.
But that's what.
It's funny that was your that
was the best.
Yeah.
That was my favorite bit in the.
My favorite bit's probably Seth Green, Seth Green's Amish character.
Oh
the Amish segments of
it. That's a very good.
And part of that is because it I do think that clearly I think the writers, this is a nod to the movie Kingpin, which is a Farrelly Brothers movie that came out in the late 90s, which involves the Amish heavily. And
it may have been, it may not have been. The important thing is, in this movie, the Amish are awesome.
Oh yeah,
they can just take and fix your car.
Okay, so the whole idea is that it's a well, for one, Seth Green is, yes, he, as he said, a backslider, wanderer, Amish person. He's somebody who is a little more apt to kind of, involve themselves with what they call the English, which are all of the rest of us. And, he's willing to kind of go and reach out and kind of mess with that world a little more than his brothers and sisters are.
You mean that sound 30 times more intellectual than it is in this movie?
Well, no,
they trash their car. He fixes it for them. He tells them they're what can we ever do? And he starts telling them, and they're oh, we were busy. He's oh no, that's cool. We just got it.
Yeah, that's
is that actually cool? Oh yeah, of course.
Well, but
are we good? He's I'm good.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he sets all that up though. Him being sarcastic and everything.
Hilarious.
He sets all that up way early on because they're talking about him going on Rumspringer, which Rumspringer is the Amish belief that at 16 you can go out and wander out for a while until you're ready to come back to the community.
That's how they work.
And
topless Amish into this movie.
Right, exactly.
Because this is a stupid sex comedy, and they wanted topless Amish.
And when he's talking about being on Rumspringer when he was a youth, and what he missed, he talks about sarcasm being one of the things that he missed because it's lost on his people. And so they set that joke up. That character is paid off well. I think he's hilarious. I think he's one of the better parts of this.
Oh, absolutely.
The interaction with Fall Out Boy, the band, at the end is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, because Fall Out Boy's like tour
randomly
bus
shows up in the middle
just
of it.
also broke down right next to where they broke down, and the same
Right
Amish
next to
that is
Blues
fixing
Traveler, who
their
was just there
GTO
from
is fixing
Kingpin.
Fallout Boys van, so they're just gonna play a free show for the kids that just get to go crazy.
Amish kids, yeah.
So it's all these Amish kids
And
that
dude,
get to
the
go nuts for the
Rumspringer
first
girl,
time.
man, come on, the girl, the drunk girl,
Yeah.
just yelling, screaming, Rumspringer. She's hilarious, man. And I mean, she's still trashed the next morning. That's great.
There's this concept that I heard where you're like secondary shame, and this movie largely depends on this concept that you feel a little bit ashamed watching these people behave like this. That's a big part of this movie and its appeal. So if like you can't like handle it, because like some of it's like real,
but really,
like,
dude, like.
You're trying to make me feel bad for this.
Comparatively speaking to some of the rest of what A was coming out around the same time, and B what has come out since, that movie is almost kind of quaint and tame.
Okay,
Really?
yeah, no. Okay, this is not like the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Right.
They weren't trying for that. They were trying to launch a couple of actors and make this script happen.
Which they did.
Like, and like they had his friend who's like a playboy, whatever, is that guy from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah, the son in
that,
Rob
and like
Corddry's son,
and like he has like. This movie was clearly meant to be like kind of, and they were like, "Here's the good lines.
Right.
Here you go. You get to like hook up with the hot Amish chick that's not quite sure." And at the end of the movie, the weirdest twist, he stays with the Amish chick. He's like,
he gets
"Man, I'm gonna give up everything."
Goes
Amish.
and V's Amish. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know why I said it that way. That's strange too.
I'm sorry to our Amish viewers.
Yes,
we
we apologize to anyone
if that was because like
might be watching this who is Amish and is on the internet.
And let us know what you think about like the accuracy of that. Like, do you think?
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you think there's a shop in your town that could fix that car?
No, for real.
Because like it's
seriously.
a cracked engine.
Seriously.
I don't know
if we actually do randomly have an Amish person watching this,
that'd be cool.
And you know something about this, and you've watched that movie.
Yes, if you're an Amish person,
exactly. Let's take the mathematic possibility and see if this happens. I want to make this happen.
Wow.
So if you have, leave in the comments down below,
please,
whether or not this movie is at all accurate to Rumspringer.
Yeah, we want to know what you know about cars.
Goes. Right.
No, I want to know about the car.
Fix cars.
Car fixing.
Are there literally like Amish people who fix cars for the other people in the town? You know, because I mean, just because they don't do it doesn't necessarily mean they don't know about it.
Someone else is doing a good thing.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know how that works.
And you know, there's a group of Amish that make furniture.
I don't think the people who made this movie knew how it worked either.
No, probably not.
I think that they heard like, yo, did you hear there's like an Amish spring break? It's like, I can make a movie out of that.
Right, I could totally
think Amish spring break sounds good.
Right.
I don't think we can sell it. Let's call it Sex Drive.
Exactly. We can't sell
and make
the
it about
whole
stealing
movie
the
on
car.
that. We can't sell the whole movie on that.
Okay.
But we could sell a bit of the movie on that.
Okay, if you're gonna see one thing from this movie, if you don't want to like wade through the whole thing, Cyclops tearing down a garage door when he realizes his brother took his car is worth watching.
And
that's
getting
really
in the garage door's face.
Yeah, and the neighbor that comes, he's getting up in his face.
He's like, to the garage door.
It's pretty funny. But then he chases off the neighbor who's like, it's a problem.
He's like, get evil.
Yeah, he just goes after him. It's pretty.
And it just takes off after
It's pretty cool just see like Cyclops let loose like that. It's a pretty cool physical performance. And like,
that was great.
Yeah, and some of the secondary people in this totally make this movie work. Like you said, there's the guy from Walking Dead. There's Cyclops. There's that guy from the Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, there's Seth Green. So there's a lot of secondary cast that's worth mentioning. Unfortunately, the central plot of this movie. It's like being pulled through this tiny little thing. It hurts. I didn't care, but then when the other stuff pays off,
I don't think it's quite that bad. It's just a standard swing and a hit. It's just a standard swing and a hit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Though. You know, it's still a hit.
It's
you know, nothing. I mean, but it's a standard spiral throw.
Oh,
you know, it's not anything extra special or major. Or they didn't reinvent the wheel. You know, they just made the standard wheel and was like, there it goes, watch it roll.
And it rolled along.
And
it went from beginning to end.
Right.
It just rolled in a circle, and it gained some momentum, and then it slammed into some stuff at the end, and then it coasted off into the distance.
Yeah. Well, That was Sex Drive. Thank you guys for coming and checking us out, and y'all check us out again. And until next time, y'all keep watching movies. We'll see you later.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching another episode of We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon. This is Finn. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all that stuff. We love to hear what you think. That's really cool. Good day.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
What about 15?
I wish I hadn't ended Sex Drive with thanks for coming.